Hi, everybody. A great evening and a warm welcome to our webinar on academic excellence. So, one gold, two silvers, and four bronzes is a number of medals that India won in Olympics. And undoubtedly, Neeraj Chopra has scripted history by bagging the most coveted gold. So, friends, do you think these players chased success? Maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe they chased excellence. So, on that simple tone, academic excellence is all about maximizing your own potential to the best. And that is going to be a topic of a discussion today. And as far as schools is concerned, academic excellence is going to be targeted towards creating better schools, creating better education and better students than what it was yesterday, no matter how challenging the road ahead is going to be. So on that note, this is Dr. Pravina Jagdish, founder School Skies, an edtech firm and a notice physician by qualification. It's such a pleasure and honor to have you all on a portal today. And I welcome all of you on behalf of APJ Educational Consultancy and School Skies. So to set the flow for the meet today, at the outset, we have a very, very compelling success story, that of school which has a legacy and culture of 33 long years, none other than a Spartan group of schools, quite a landmark in Chennai. And second, we have Dr. Ajit Prasad Jain going to be speaking about academic excellence and way forward in schools based a little bit on the NEP policies. Thirdly, I would like to have a small discussion very specifically on digital assessments and digital report cards in this computer era. So quickly, let me introduce to you the first two speakers of the day. We have Ms. Panchami here, assistant headmistress from Spartan with 12 years of teaching experience. She is very systematic approach towards scholastic and co-scholastic activity and undoubtedly a very cheerful and happy person to be with. And next we have Sahaya Martin Rajesh sir, principal with 26 years of teaching experience. He's taught in several boards, contributed greatly in the field of technology-enabled learning, and definitely it's such an honor for us at School Skies to be associated with the entire Spartan groups for close to 3 years now. I think it's been quite an enriching journey and very mutual learning for both of us. And I really thank both of you for coming over here to address the gathering, sir. And over to you, Panchami ma'am. We are here to eager to hear from you.
Thank you, Dr. Pravina, for that warm intro. Great evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty for keeping all of us safe during this pandemic. So I'm here to give a brief introduction about my school, Spartan International School at Chembrambakam. We started in 2014. We provide each student a diverse education in a safe, supportive environment that promotes sound values, self-discipline, motivation, and excellence in learning. And when I talk about excellence, I would like to say that this year, that is 2020-21, was our first 12th standard batch, and we had got a score of 477. And 10th standard was our fourth batch with a score of 495. And we all know that the pressure that we had.
I think your mic, you'll have to check your mic. Hello. Panchami ma'am, you'll have to check your mic. We have lost you. Hello. Panchami ma'am. Priya, can you call Panchami ma'am and just ask her please? Or Martin sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Okay. Okay.
Am I on?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead. No issue.
Okay. So I was just talking about in the midst of the pandemic, the pressure that we had from moving on to the methods that we were following to the online method that we had to adopt ourselves. So I would like to mention school skies who had made our teachers also digitalized. And we know the common term that we hear is to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That is what the commonly used terms nowadays. And I would proudly like to say that our school, we focus to give the best education and create a passion of learning. Learning not only for the children, but also for the teachers also. There were so many things that we had to relook and reprioritize. And before moving on to the methods that we had used during this shifting to the online mode of teaching, I would like to take you all to a small video that is a journey to our school. So over to Martin sir for the video and to further carry on with this. Thank you. Thank you once again for giving this opportunity.
Martin, unmute your mic. Pravina, can I go ahead? Are you able to hear me? Yes.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Good evening, all. Dr. Ajit sir, Dr. Pravina, principals of various schools, teachers, friends, and my dear colleagues. Today we are going to have a discussion, and at the same time, when Pravina was showing the poster of academic excellence in uncertain times, I was thinking about many things in my mind. But four things that came to in front of me. Number one, how this digital transformation has taken place in Spartan International School. The second one, the role played by the management. The third, how we overcome the hurdles, whatever we faced during this challenging times. The fourth one is how School Skies helped us to be successful. So these are the four different things which came into my mind. The first one, how the digital transformation happened, that is something which is very different. We all know that when our Prime Minister introduced the concept of Digital India, we thought that how it is going to be implemented into the society, into the various field of what we call it as diverse field. You won't believe that within 30 days of introducing this particular Digital India, the lockdown was announced and the entire country was able to uplift to the digital world. That is something which is very great. We all believe that as a educationist, We are very busy in our entire process, is it not? We are the only professionals who were engaging the children, the stakeholders we called us, parents, students, something to a different level. As a school head, a lot of responsibilities were there. When I was thinking about many things, particularly about digital learning, we are not ready to accept before COVID-19. We found that the teaching by blackboard or by using chalk and board method is one of the best one. The later period, if you see, after COVID, we found something very different. The buffer time available was very less. We are not able to complete our task within a stipulated time. We need to engage the children. We need to engage the entire teaching community. So we need to get into the action immediately. And each and every school has got something which is very different success stories. And if you see as a whole, for the last 2 to 3 months, the entire school is digitized and it has been in the process of tabulation of class 10 and class 12 marks. The way they have done, particularly the software which has been used in class 12, there may be debates, there may be ups and downs. The variations what we did, something which is very different. We need to accept. Right from the Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the entire school system is digitized within a stipulated time. Everyone got into the system. I still remember the first week, once the lockdown announced, the first week when our school started the online classes, there are so many challenges were there, particularly from the language teachers. Sir, we don't have content, we don't have resource, we don't have this, that. Many queries were there. Those things got vanished immediately within a few weeks. Our teachers are able to get into the system very quickly. That is something great. Hats off to all the schools, all the teachers. They are able to adapt the situation as quick as possible. That is our profession, something which is great. So being a chemistry teacher, I remember a concept in chemistry. We call it as a Lee Chapier's Brown principle. When a constraint is placed on a system, the system will adjust in such a way to overcome the annual effect of the constraint. Yes, we had a constraint. How are we going to meet the necessities of our children? How are we going to teach? How we are going to do the assessment? And how we are going to give the maximum education during this particular pandemic time? These are our constraints. I found most of the school leaders are able to do this. Very few are out of the race. What is the reason? Because the school leaders have to understand that they need to lift up the entire system to that particular level. Yes. We need to move from the ground state to the excited state and get into the intact so that everyone speak in one language. Everyone will be able to deliver in the same process. So a lot of planning was there. A lot of discussions were there. Communications were there. We talk about 21st century skills. All these 21st century skills were implemented in online teaching. As a result, there is something different have happened. I can understand some of maybe thinking about the support of the management is required. Yes, a management plays a very important role for any organization. I'm very proud to say that our management is ready to support in whatever we have done. They didn't support blindly, but they asked questions. We need to answer, satisfy them. As a result, they are able to do. At this particular point, I like to tell you that we have an iron lady around 8 years old who sends a video message link in WhatsApp around 5 o'clock in the early in the morning. And I have to send it to my group, to my teachers. The teachers go through that particular videos. And some will go through, some will not follow it. But this person makes sure that everyone goes through this particular video, and not only that, he asks questions by assessing them. Not only the assessment has been done, prizes were given. An 80-year-old person is able to do such a wonderful thing from 37 years of experience in the field of education. And why can't we do that? That is the motivation we had. Hats off to my director. At this particular point, I have to thank my correspondent, because true color of a management has been shown in during this particular pandemic time. Many schools have not paid the fees or paid the salary to the teachers, non-teaching staff. But I'm proud to say that our correspondent has said only one particular statement, Mr. Roshan sir. This is our commitment. That motivated us to do the best. I have to point out one thing here about a senior principal, Mrs. Renu, who's very supportive in academic and bringing the system to the next level. That is something which is great. With the support of the management, we are able to lift our teaching levels, methodologies in online. I thank at this particular point. Yes, we need the support. Why I'm saying, if your system is to be digitized, you need to have the support of others. Without that, you will not be able to come to that particular level. And what are the hurdles we find during this particular transformation from a chalk and board method to digital mode? There are many. There are many problems with there. Number one, when we teach, there should be some uniformity should be there. Teachers were in a different location. The bandwidth was their problem. The lighting was the problem. Many things were going on. But you won't find that, you know that our school is situated in a remote place near to the Chembrabakam lake. Within the radius of 3 kilometers, if you see that, no cell phone towers are available. The management took immediate action to pull the cables through private vendors, and we are able to give a connection to our floors, ground, first floor and second floor. And teachers were called, and they've been taking the class from the school. That is something which was great. There was some uniformity was there. Everything was normal. And the output was something which is great. That's what I want to tell you at this particular point. The next phase is that how we are going to assess, how we are going to see the notes, how whether the children are learning or whether the children are doing anything, any activities that has been observed. You won't believe the feedback given by the parents, the feedback given by the friends, the feedback given by the elderly people in the home, something which is great. We had a PTA meeting through online. We had a discussion. We had a fancy dress competition. We had many things which we found that the impossible become possible. That is what I just want to tell you that. It needs lots of planning. That happened very, very quickly and very systematically. That is the success of Spartan. And if you want to grow, if you want to lift your system to the next level, and you need some support, some resource material, this is the place where School Skies come into picture. We had a lot of constraints. Those constraints were discussed and it has been let out and it has been solved. The problems were solved. And we find very comfortable, so that we can concentrate in our academic activities. We can concentrate in other things which is a need for the children. Those things were solved. Remember, for any school head, when a digital concept has been introduced, there should be some kind of transparency should be there. What is a transparency? There are 4 things are there. Any digital content, any demo which is played in the school or through digital mode, there are 4 things are there. But we need to see about the graphical mode. We need to see about the instructional design. We need to see about whether the subject matter expert is there. When you see the content, you'll be able to understand. The last 4th one, we need to see about the quality of that particular content. It's not easy to make a digitized content, or whether it is a school fees management, or whether you are giving a what we call as a report card, or a content, or a delivery which through a software. So once we see the template interface or font, or otherwise we call it as many things in a particular digital mode, we'll be able to understand whether they have the quality or not. The process is very simple in any digitized content. As a school head, I look into a few things very closely about the storyboard, whether it is a systematic, whether there is a flow is there. The digitization part of the entire thing, the graphical design, instructional design, whether a subject matter expert is involved in that. Quality check is there. Once the quality check is there, the final product is out. Whether the final product is authenticated by some eminent people. I think the school skies have got great personalities, so many years of experience. Dr. Ajit Prasad Jain is there. That is one of the important, what we call as credit for them. We had several discussion. Just like that, we are not implemented. We have to analyze everything, every step. Then only we are implementing, because it should go. The relationship between the digitized company and the school should be a longer, not a shorter period. We don't know what will be our next move, whether this will continue, or we have something very different, or the entire system is going to be digitized. We need to wait and see. My dear friends, when you got into the digitized form, you need to be more systematic. You need to observe. You need to have a plan. You need to discuss with each and every one. That's what I told you, that it's not a one-man show. It is the entire team should be there to convert this process, and so that the ultimate aim is that the stakeholders should be happy out of whatever we have done. I thank this opportunity to discuss about this academic excellence during uncertain time by Spartan International School. When we think tremendous work has gone, we are very happy, we are very proud. Not only our school, our neighboring schools, different stories will be there, different success stories will be there. The way they worked out, it's very difficult for the teachers to getting into the system. But with the help of different resource people, we are able to do. It's not a one school or two schools. It is a collective of different organizations which helped us to do wonders. We thank everyone for contributing. We thank each and every person. Thank this opportunity given to us at the School Skies and Dr. APJ Consultancy. Thank you so much for everything whatever you have done.
Thank you, sir.
Over to Ravina.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Those were really, I think, great words that you've shared, your experiences, your challenges, and the spirit of, overcoming challenges. When you spoke about Anna Madam sending video at 5, I think that's quite inspiring. And I'm also going to steal this moment to place on record, and special thanks to the top management at Spartan, Anna Ma'am, Roshan Sir, and all the set of principals working across 3 schools. I think we have 3 schools in Spartan, Metric, CBSE, Exclusive, International. So I think it's a great brand, and going digital was not easy. I know that, but the effort was so Huge. The effort was huge, but I think the transformation really worked wonders and we are reaping the benefits today. So it's fabulous to have you all here and we are greatly looking forward to your feedback and patronage going forward. So friends, so we'll quickly move on to our next speaker, none other than our, Dr. Ajit Prasad Jain, Director of APJ Education Consultancy, a national awardee, ex-member of governing body CBSE. So I'd also like to congratulate Sir for his new post. I think he's been appointed by the Tamil Nadu Council HNRC department as a member in the advisory committee to assist schools achieve academic excellence, new schools to get better and old schools to get better. So I think he's the right person to talk about excellence, maybe in academics and maybe in other things as well. But today we will stick to academics excellence. Sir, and over to you and eager to hear from you, sir.
Thank you, Pravina. I think Martin has to stop sharing the screen.
Martin, sir, if you could just repress your share icon, sir can share his.
Yeah. Yes. Good evening, friends. It is a wonderful topic, academic excellence in uncertain times. But the time has come now that we should realize what are the uncertain time. It is not only the pandemic, but also we have experienced how the CBSE has calculated the class 10 and class 12 examination marks without conducting the physical examination. There was a time when the IT companies are going for campus interview, they used to ask for the class 12 mathematics, the class 12 mark sheet. And not only the performance of the children in the BE, but they also look into the class 12 marks. So when I was the principal of Bhavan School, I used to advise the children of 8th also, please be careful and pay attention, because when the children are coming to 8th, they are entering into teen, and we know what are the problems we are facing, especially with the boys. All the principals will agree with me. And when they're coming to 9th, the peer group advice that this is the year for enjoyment, because next year 10th standard, right from the auntie, uncle, whoever is going to come to our house, they'll say, hey, you are having a board examination this year, so be careful, be careful. So let us enjoy class 9. So they'll never take anything seriously. The same thing will happen in class 11 also. So I used to tell the boys and the girls that please always take class 9 also seriously and class 11 also seriously. But they never listen. They never listen, not only the principal, never the teachers and parents also. Now what happened this year? The CBSE has taken the marks of class 9 and 10 and 11 also for class 12. So therefore, it is very, very important that we, the teachers and the principals, have to insist and impress upon the class 9 and class 11 children that your performance during this year may also contribute to your class 12 or class 10 or board examination. We never know, because in America, I think 2 days back, 1.5 lakh people have died, and it is increasing. In Coimbatore also it is increasing. We never knew when the schools are going to come back to the normal, and whether the CBSE is going to have the examination or not. Nobody can say anything on this. So therefore everybody should be alert, whether it is 9th or 11th or 10th or 12th. So they have to be alert. And also at the same time, the CBSE has introduced the central government has given NEP 2020, and in the NEP 2020 they have said class 3 and class 5 will have an examination, and based on that, CBSE has brought SAFL, structured assessment for analyzing learning. and they are going to have examination for class 3 and class 5 and class 8. And they are going to have individual assessment for students and system level assessment or evaluation for schools, regions, or national education system. And also the purpose of key stage assessment in CBSE schools. This is going to be, the SAFL is going to be done only in CBSE schools, because you know the CBSE is coming directly under the Director of Education. It is no more called MHRD as per the NEP 2020. It is called Ministry of Education, and the CBSE is coming directly under their nose. So whatever they want to implement, whatever they want to test, CBSE schools are the testing field. So therefore, they are going to establish a formal protocol to collect valid and reliable data to chart performance on competencies at and below the grade level and monitor the progress. The school level performance on key competencies and proficiency levels can be used to measure the effectiveness of a system through systematic monitoring and reporting of learning levels. And the school management and school systems can use this data for targeting academic support and database management. Remember, it is to be noted that SAFL will not decide the pass or fail at any stage, whether it is 3 or 5 or 8. They are not going to decide the pass or fail or for the next class. So it is only to find out the benchmarking of each and every child and benchmarking of each and every school and benchmarking of each and every state. And the SAFL pilot 2021, SAFL will be conducted on a pilot basis in CBSE schools for students in grade 3 and 5 and 8. In class 3, pilot assessment for language and mathematics offered in the schools, language of instruction for Hindi and English medium schools. So it will be both in Hindi and English medium examination. And in class 5, assessment for language, EVS and mathematics. And in class 8, assessment for language, science and mathematics. So in the first year, SAFL will be conducted in the same sample set of schools for grade 3, for grade 5 and grade 8. SAFL will be offered to all schools. It is up to the schools to take it or not. So this is the first information I wanted to give you on this. How this SAFL will be useful for the schools. The assessment will provide diagnostic information to schools on core competencies, and SAFL reports school performance on each competency and proficiency level to identify areas of focus and guide schools towards improving their learning levels. How a parent can use SAFL? They can assess the performance of the child school on core competences, core concepts, supported home learning for students to shift away from the rote memorization and shift to skill-based and competency-based education. This is what I just wanted to tell you about SAFL. Now let us go to class 10. What is new in the examination? What CBSE is going to do it? Special scheme of assessment for board examination class 10. The COVID-19 pandemic caused almost all the schools to function in a virtual mode for most part of the academic year during the year 2020-21. Due to the extreme risk associated with the conduct of board examination during the second wave in April 2021, CBSE had to cancel both its class 10 and class 12 board examination for the year 2021. And the results were declared on the basis of a creditable, reliable, flexible, and valid alternative assessment policy, which was approved by Supreme Court of India. In the above backdrop, in line with the board's continued focus on assessing stipulated learning outcomes by making the examination competencies and core concepts based, student-centric, transparent, and technology-driven, and having advanced provision of alternatives for different future scenarios, the following schemes are introduced for the academic session for class 10 and class 12, that is for the year 2021-22. The academic session to be divided into 2 terms with approximately 50% of syllabus in each term. The syllabus for the academic session 2021 will be divided into 2 terms by following a systematic approach by looking into the interconnectivity of concepts and topics by the subject experts, and the board will conduct examination at the end of each term on the basis of the bifurcated syllabus. This is done to increase the probability of having a board conducted class 10 and class 12 examination at the end of the academic session. The syllabus for the board examination 2021 has been rationalized, similar to that of the last academic session. The notification is already issued by CBSE. It is available on the CBSE website. Schools will also use alternative academic calendar and inputs from the NCERT on transacting the curriculum. Class 9 and 10 internal assessment will include 3 periodic tests: student enrichment, portfolio management, and practical work, and speaking, listening activities or projects. Schools would create a student profile for all assessment undertaken over the year and retain the evidence in digital format for verification by the board at any point of time. And CBSE will facilitate schools to upload the marks of internal assessment on the CBSE IT platform. Guidelines for internal assessment for all the subject has been released, and along with the rationalized term-wise divided syllabus for the session 21-22. The board would also provide additional resources like sample assessment, question banks, teacher training, etc. for more reliable and valid internal assessment. Term 1 examination. At the end of the term 1, the board will organize term 1 examination in a flexible schedule to be conducted between November to December 2021 with a window period of 4 to 8 weeks for schools situated in different parts of the country and abroad. Dates for conduct of the examination will be notified subsequently. The question paper will have multiple choice questions, including case-based assessment rationalized typing. Duration of the test will be 90 minutes. It will cover only the rationalized syllabus of term 1 only. Question papers will be sent by CBSE to schools along with the marking scheme. The exams will be conducted under the supervision of the external superintendent and the observers appointed by CBSE. Marks of the term 1 examination will contribute to the final overall score of the students. The final direction in this regard will be conveyed to schools by the examination unit of the board. The responses of students will be captured on a OMR sheet, which after scanning may be directly uploaded at the CBSE portal. Suppose the schools do not have the scanning facility, alternatively may be evaluated and marks obtained be uploaded by the school on the very same day. So that means when you're getting the question paper, you will be getting the answers key also. So you can easily evaluate the answer paper on the same day, and you need to upload the to CBSE website on the same day. Term 2 examination. This examination would be held around March to April at the examination centers fixed by the board. The question paper will have questions of different formats: case-based, situation-based, open-ended, short answer, long answer, etc. Because this is going to be descriptive. That is why they're including everything, not like a first term MCQ. Duration of test will be 2 hours, and it will cover only the rationalized syllabus of term 2 only. In case the situation is not conducive for normal descriptive examination, that is for 2 hours, then again a 90-minute MCQ based exam will be conducted at the end of the term 2 also. Marks of the term 2 examination would contribute to the final overall score. Now, as I told you, the pandemic is playing havoc across the globe. So therefore, CBSE is very, very careful. Now they are giving 4 different situations. The first situation, in case the situation of the pandemic improves and the students are able to come to schools or center for taking examination, then the board would conduct the term 1 and term 2 examination at the schools or centers, and the theory marks would be distributed equally between the 2 examinations. That means if everything is normal, the board will conduct both the examination term 1 and term 2 in the examination centers. Both it will be written examination. Now, scenario 2, in case the situation of the pandemic forces complete closure of the schools during November, December, because now people are talking about the 3rd wave, which is especially going to affect the children in the month of October or November. So if the November, December, if the schools are not going to be open, then term 1 MCQ based examination would be done by students online, offline, from home. In this case, the weightage of this examination for the final score would be reduced, and the weightage of the term 2 examination will be increased for the declaration of the final results. Now, scenario 3. In case the situation of the pandemic forces complete closure of schools during April and March 2022, that is for the second term, but term 1 exams are held at the schools or the center, the results will be based on the performance of the students on term 1 and MCQ based term 1 MCQ based examination and internal assessment. The weightage of marks or term 1 examination conducted by the board will be increased to provide year-end results of the candidates. Now coming to the last resort, this in case the situation of the pandemic forces complete closure of the schools and board conducted term 1 and term 2 exams are taken by the candidates from home in the session 21-22. That means the board is not able to conduct any examination either in the term 1 or term 2. The results will be computed on the basis of the internal assessment or practical work and theory marks of the term 1 and term 2 exams taken by the candidates from home. Please listen here. They are going to have theory exam, but the children will write from their home. So therefore, results will be computed on the basis of the internal assessment and practical or project work and theory marks of term 1 and term 2 exams taken by the candidates from home in class 10 or class 12 subjects to the moderation or other measures to ensure validity and reliability of the assessment. Now, details of the internal assessment. For details of the internal assessment, you please refer this curriculum in the CBSE academic website. And in continuation of circular academic number 51, the following guidelines to undertake internal assessment practical project works were issued to the schools for the academic year 2021-22. Internal assessment will be carried out as per the existing scheme across the year, except that the assessment will be done twice and both will contribute equally in overall assessment. When the subjects are 80 marks, subjects with theory of 80 marks, 10 marks for each term, total 20 marks. So this internal assessment, there is 3 periodic tests, either 1 in the term 1 and 2 in the term 2, or 2 in the term 1 and 1 in the term 1. This is vice versa. And multiple assessment, 2 marks. Multiple assessments enabled in classroom pedagogy may include role play, quiz, and general discussion and concept map and recitation, debate, skit, art and sport integrated activity, etc. But I have my own doubt how we are going to do this multiple assessment when the school children are not going to come. It is again going to be in online only. And the subject enrichment activities, 3 marks, activities to include ASL and practical work, art integration learning projects. And portfolio 2 marks to be maintained in 2 terms, in both the terms. Art integrated project will continue as per the guidelines given in the circular number 33 dated 14th May 2020. We cannot escape from the integration of art with the subjects. And marks will be uploaded by the schools for each subject on CBSE portal for both the terms. The school should ensure that internal assessment is reliable, fair, and transparent for all students. The evaluation done by teachers for internal assessment or practical project work need to be based on the evidences of the students' performance throughout the academic session. Details of internal assessment. The evidence of internal assessment practical project works needs to be presented or uploaded by schools as per directions of examination unit, regional office of the school from time to time. So I think the same thing is applicable for class 12 also. The same set of PowerPoint for class 12. So I don't want to waste my time on this presenting for class 12. So if you have any questions, you can give it in the chat box. We will answer. Thank you, Pravina, for the opportunity. Over to Pravina.
Thank you, Ajit sir. I think that was quite an elaborate explanation, especially the scenarios that you were putting forth, because any organization
CBSE is envisaging or foreseeing 4 different scenarios.
Yeah. So it's like in business we say optimistic, realistic and not so optimistic. So I think it's good that schools stay planned for whatever is happening.
It has come in a, I think 32-page circular or 8-page circular, but I thought it is better for the principals to give them a script in the form of a PPT so that they can understand very easily what are the CBSE's idea for the conduct of the examination. That's why I prepared this.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir, and thank you all. So with this, I will just spend a few minutes describing to you about the digital report cards and digitization of assessments, which is, I think, is paramount importance today, because as we see that NEP places a lot of importance on holistic assessments and digitally supported report cards. So the just one motto, that's a good motto on NEP is that they would want to move away completely from memory-based or rooted learning towards competency-based assessments and competency-based questions. So it is also becoming important for teachers to get trained in setting up that kind of question papers, and becomes important for schools to give the digital support to the teachers or the the staff in the school. So with that, just allow me a moment to share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen? Just a moment. Okay, so what is the entire thing about digital report cards, and how can digital report cards make a school teacher's life easy or a school's life easy? So this is what I'm going to be speaking about, and I will also give you the user interface, how digital report cards will look like to help you achieve excellence. So we know that once we move towards the pandemic, the biggest shift was not only in classes, but also the exams and the report cards to the online mode. Sir, are you able to see my screen, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so the shift is also with the exams and report cards. So what did many of the schools do as the best practice? So if you see, as far as exams are concerned, it is mostly on Teams. Of course, there is another way of taking the pictures and sending it across to the school teachers or to their mail IDs. But this really worked wonders for many schools. So short answers, 2-mark answers, or simple questions conducted on Teams, which is based on a particular time limit. So for example, you give 1, 2, 3, the student answers it, he submits it within the time limit. And here beautifully you can review the answers, see the scores, you can take the average score. Not just that, there is also a pie chart which is showing that for a particular question, how many students answered well or did not answer. So that will give you an idea of whether the students are good with that subject or they're not good with that particular topic. And of course, this entire thing can be exported in Excel, so that can also allow you to store those marks and keep, so there's no double entry there. And if moving away from MCQs, when we talk about short answers, so answers can be written and captured in the response sheet. So it could be 2 points or 3 points or 5 points, which can all be captured and evaluated by the teachers. So coming to digital report cards, I'm sure that way back it was all through paper. Still, schools are using paper report cards, and there's nothing wrong about it. But just that the pandemic has precipitated certain norms where the contact has become a stigma now. So moving towards digital is a very brilliant idea. Not just that it saves paper and it's a go green attitude. Apart from that, it saves a lot of time, money, and paper and stress for the teachers and the entire school management, because everything is captured at one go. So if you look at what are the major advantages, firstly, it is the easiness to access, and it's the privacy. So you could store all your data in your system and it can keep it very private. And another thing is it need not be misplaced. It's also there on the parent portal. So you have access to any of your kids' report card, maybe this year's, last year's, you can take it out from the portal by just putting on the year that you want. And for the institution, the biggest advantage is they do not go searching for report cards, or they do not maintain those huge logs of report cards on paper. And most importantly, it can be customized. So the report cards that we are giving in a digital format can be customized based on branch, your class, or any level. And it's also a secure way of holding data without having to lose whatever children's data that we have. If you look at specific advantages, it helps you calculate the formative summative exam percentages according to weightage. You can calculate grades, not just your marks or percentage. You can also put in grade because CBSE calls for grades. You can calculate your grade points, and you can also put in cumulative grade point average. So where does a student stand in the entire class level? The percentile of marks can also be calculated. Apart from that, looking at the way NAP is doing, so we'll have to factor in a lot of post-scholastic, scholastic activities, other assessments. So it's quite customizable that the report card digitally allows you to factor in all of this and to produce something that is very valuable for the parents, for the teachers, as well as the students, because the ultimate motto is to help him understand where he stands and learn better. In short, if you see, it even allows you to go away with without the signatures. So it's all digitized. So even the signatures of principals and teachers can be avoided. So I think that saves a great deal of time for principals and teachers as well. So this is the simple interface. So if you look at the lower bottom here, there is an Excel. So you simply enter all your marks of the students in this Excel, and then directly you can import it into the School Skies or report card portal. So once you publish, you don't have to worry. You can preview the entire thing. So you don't have to publish it without previewing. You can look at it. Your headmasters can look at it. Your management can look at it. They can notify parents through email before publishing. And then you can press the publish button to send across all the report cards at one go. So that makes the ease of delivering the report card very easy, rather than sending it, just, having a paper card, going through other mails or other stuff. This makes it a lot easy. So we have 3 to 4 kinds of report cards. The one here is one which showing only mark entry. So some of the matriculation schools use, and they want only mark entry. They want to show the relative performance of the students that can be done on an average, and the teacher remarks that can be captured in the report card. Overall grade for the student can also be calculated, and that the system does that. So all of this is a huge time saving methodology for the teachers. Attendance details is auto fetched. So teachers don't have to even calculate the attendance. In fact, the entire student details, the demographical details, everything is fetched from the School Skies portal itself. So that makes this a lot more easier and practical. So if you are going to ask me if we have only the grades, yes, here you can have, like, if you're a CBSE school, this is just the grade only report card, and all the other details will remain the same. So in case there is a school which wants the grade as well as the marks, yes, that is also possible. So these are the different permutations and combinations that we worked on based on the assessment reports that is sending out. We can add on scholastic activities as well. So this, I think, it took a lot of time for us to assess and come up and build this module, and a lot of credit goes to a lot of educators and Ajit sir, principals who've given us valuable feedbacks. A lot of our schools, which has helped us refine this module, and without saying, of course, our entire team, which has worked day and night to publish this report card module. So for a little bit about School Skies, we are a very unique school management portal, and we've got close to 6 years of experience delivering the best to the schools. So it's unique as it provides the operations right from school admission registration to issuance of conduct and TC, and today even to report cards, and even doing up your websites in a very digitally acclaimed way. So, and we believe in being a very, very user friendly portal or interface. So anybody in the school can take it and use it at ease. And we believe in driving adoption. So if it is there, then you need to use it. So that's the entire point of driving digitization across school. So we also train teachers to understand that, and we certify them. So this is a gamut of things that we do, starting from ID cards to fee management to online admissions to attendance to even chatbots on admission queries. So there's a lot more, and this is probably a entire day session that I would like to give, talking on what digitization A to Z means in administrative portal of a school. So we're also very glad to say that we partnered with Microsoft, and this is something that has been very gratifying in the pandemic. We have trained close to 4,000 teachers, certified them, and helped them take the digital transformation journey, especially when there was no choice over the last 1 year and so. So apart from that, we also believe in conducting and integrating the teams to the portal. So Microsoft Teams is an extremely secure portal where you can conduct your all your online classes, put in your assessments, assignments and everything. And it's got 42 security policies in place and completely approved by MOE right now today. And so it's the go-to for online classes as well. So I'm also humbled to share that School Skies has been nominated as a startup that combats COVID by the Indian Institute of Management. So very humble to say that we've trained 80 plus schools and close to 3,500 teachers, and all this would not be possible without your help and patronage. So I thank every educator here today. All the schools that we are working with, a very, very special thanks and mention to all of them. So on the whole, at APJ and School Skies, we would like to see every school here succeed to go digital in a very seamless way, and that's our motto. And the very idea of this webinar is to give away good and authentic educational updates and to project the success stories of some of the schools which have been successful in the pandemic. So with that, I would also like to offer you that we have the demo for digital report cards, and we conduct meetings every day at 5 p.m. To understand this better, I would urge you to join us at 5 p.m. or you could give us a call to fix your own meets at 99625 63694, or you could mail us, or you can mail Ajit sir in case you have any doubts regarding NEPs or your school CBSE affiliation portals. So we are always there to help you, and I'm sure we are drawing a lot of inspiration from all of you educators out there. And I would like to call this a wrap, and I think we had a great time today with all of you. So we would like to thank you again on behalf of School Skies and APJ Consultancy. You spent your valuable Saturday evening with us, and thank you once again. And we would strive for academic excellence no matter what the challenges ahead of us are. And now I'm going to leave the house open for questions. Just in case any one of you have questions, you can type it in the chat box. Else, I think we can close it, and I wish you all a great weekend ahead.
No questions so far.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Panchami ma'am and Martin sir. And thank you, Spartan Group of Schools for joining us. And thank you, Ajit sir. So
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Pravina. Thank you.
Thank you. Sweetlin, can you just hold on?
Yeah,